This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Carol. Carol talks for a living, from morning till night. So she relies on Flow's crystal clear home phone service brought to her through Flow's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her in the know, and because she bundles her mobile broadband and TV services, she enjoys huge savings, so she can enjoy much more for much less. So visit any Flow retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today Evening Update for Friday, June 3rd. Thanks for joining us. I am Fernella Wedderburn. We begin with news that Barbadians will not be allowed to flout the directives of the Chief Town Planner. The strong warning comes from Prime Minister Frondell Stewart while meeting with media managers at Ilaro Court today. While making it clear that he was not speaking about the ongoing dispute between Hard Rock Cement and the Chief Town Planner, Minister Stewart expressed concern that in too many situations, the public is taking matters into their own hands.
I just want to sound a tocsin that the Chief Town Planner is a serious public official, and what decisions he makes, what instructions he gives have to be complied with. There is an appellate procedure put in place by the legislation. There are procedures to be followed, and those procedures have to be followed.
The Prime Minister also weighed on calls from the trade unions for salary increases for public servants. He is not ruling out a pay hike, but he made it clear that the final figure will depend on what the government can afford.
The negotiations don't take place, they take place with the Ministry of the Civil Service, who then make recommendations to me for onward transmission to the Cabinet. I'm not aware that the Ministry of the Civil Service has even received any proposals from the trade unions. I know that an announcement was made that this is what was going to happen, but I have not heard from the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of the Civil Service that he's received any proposals and that he needs to have a meeting with me to get any directions. But when that happens, of course, we will look at all of the issues that have to be taken into account and what we can reasonably offer.
Officials at the Ministry of Transport and Works are still searching for what they describe as a doable solution to the infrastructure problems facing residents in Whitehill, St. Andrew. That's according to Minister Michael Lashley, who says a technical team led by Acting Chief Technical Officer Nash Lovell was working on that plan. Efforts by the government to repair the road, which was damaged back in 2014 following heavy rains, have so far been unsuccessful. However, Lashley revealed, without going into details, that other measures are being taken by government to improve the situation.
Cabinet had approved Ministry of Housing actually remove at least about 5 or 6 residents. In the second phase, the Farmers Terrace, and we have to work along with housing too, because any other work too obviously would impact on houses in the area. So we have to work along with the Ministry of Housing and Lands. I'm informed that they have selected a private contractor, and NACs also will be building some of the houses.
Meantime, Transport Director Alex Linton says the Transport Authority Service Integration Project will be extended by another 3 months. New routes, he says, will also be added. However, he says the necessary analysis would first have to be carried out.
We already informed them about some of the next steps we want to do, but we have to do further consultation before we obviously, if you want to say, publicize it. We know the fact is we are extending the project by a further 3 months, and based on the feedback from the public at the ED Village and the Sturgis Road, we're still working on towards looking at trying to get Martin's Bay included in the project, because that did not yet start at the time we wanted. But at the same token, we're working on the extension and then hopefully future expansion, but that will be based obviously upon Cabinet, Board of Directors, and the Minister's discretion and decision.
Opposition MP Dale Marshall is pleading for relief for his constituents. He tells Barbados Today St. Joseph residents continue to live in dire straits after having no water for months.
The water situation remains
give credit to the water authority. There's a fair amount of engineering works going on. We're seeing roads dug up, we're seeing mains being put in, but at this point in time, we cannot honestly say that my constituents have had any significant relief. Occasionally, there's been a little improvement in little pockets, but by and large, the situation is not much changed from where it was. My constituents continue to have to struggle, together with all the other issues that they have. They continue to struggle on a day-to-day basis without having predictable running water supply.
Isabel Higginson also tells Barbados Today she's fed up with the situation.
I'm 80 years old, I got no water, I can't cook. Met bits, roast ready for the week, I get the met bits out.
In sports, the fastest man in the world could lose one of the 3 gold medals he won at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Reuters report that an A sample from Usain Bolt's teammate Nesta Carter in the 4x100 meters was found to contain a banned substance. The news comes after the retesting of 454 samples from the 2008 Games. Carter, who along with his agent has not replied to requests for a comment, will face sanctions if his B sample also tests positive for the substance. The 30-year-old ran the first leg for Jamaica in Beijing, which also included Michael Frater and Asafa Powell.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
We continue with news out of St. Lucia, where early ballots were cast today ahead of Monday's general election. Chief Elections Officer Gaspar Jean-Baptiste says the vote took place in all 17 constituencies.
It is the first time that we are having advanced voting for persons at care facilities, prison officers, the Electoral Commission, the electoral staff. The reason is we want to free up, especially the poll workers. We want to free them up on Monday so that they'll be able to carry out their duties without interruption, to leave the polling station and go and vote. So we're allowing all of them to vote today in what we call advanced voting. That's why today. We started at 6:30, which is a normal voting time, and we'll be closing at 6 in the evening.
The election is a straight fight between the ruling St. Lucia Labour Party and the main opposition, United Workers' Party. On the international scene, France is currently under a state of natural disaster. The river Seine is due to hit a peak of up to 21 feet as floodwaters continue to rise in Paris. World-famous museums there have also closed off, so staff can remove priceless artworks to safety. More in this report from the BBC.
This is how much of France looks from the sky. 6 weeks' worth of rain has fallen here in just 3 days. Thousands of homes have been evacuated and businesses are underwater. Further upstream, this river eventually becomes the famous Seine, which runs through Paris. Approaching 6 meters, its highest level in decades, the world-famous Louvre forced to shut so its staff can move its priceless artworks to higher ground. This sudden rise of the Seine forced train companies to close lines that run along the river, popular with tourists trying to reach the city's main sites. France is declaring a state of natural disaster in areas worst hit by flooding and will free up emergency funds. The French president laying blame at the changing global climate.
This isn't something that's only hit France. Germany and Poland are also involved. People have died there. So when we suffer climate events of such seriousness, we must all be conscious that it's on a global scale that we must act.
In Bavaria, a person was killed and many injured after the water level rose to the first story of residential buildings. Rescue teams are working round the clock and the local government has mobilised all its resources, given new warnings of storms could be hitting these parts of Europe over the next few days. And with the grounds unable to absorb any more, forecasters warn the water is expected to keep rising.
And that's news and sports. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and the Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fenella Wedderburn. To have a great weekend.